And anybody who don't know the reason why one of the reasons why this nation cannot stand us, I'm going to tell you why right here, is because we supported and armed an insane war criminal, okay, serial killer war criminal named Saddam Hussein back in the early 80s. We armed this country to fight them, to kill their babies. We armed Saddam Hussein to rape their women, okay? We armed a war criminal serial killer to rape, kill, and pillage their babies and their women. So, well, you know, naturally, anybody with any kind of common sense, they're not going to be on very good terms with us. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, if you want to know why, another reason why Iran doesn't like America, well, that's a good enough reason for me. I don't think I'd be kind of pissed off at them too. When Saddam hit those chemicals on those babies and children and, you know, non-combatant civilians, the only country, okay, that offered humanitarian aid to those babies and those women, those children, you know, civilians, non-combatants, was Iran. Iran. So, I think you guys can get a little picture on why Iran might be just a tad bit pissed off at us. You know what I mean? Hello, mates and lasses. This is 155mm bringing you another video. Hey guys, in case you guys have missed the news here the last couple of days, we basically gave away a $6 million drone to Iraq. We were over there flying around spying on them, and evidently somehow they got the drone down, took it down, and they now have confiscated the drone, and they're studying it, you know, to find out our technology. And we also run the risk of them also handing it over to China and Russia for them to study it as well. So whatever technology we had in that, you know, like I said, we just basically gave it away. And it's real stupid that, first of all, you know, my opinion is we need to take care of our own situations we got going on now. We need to first, you know, could be concerned with the situation in Iraq as well as Afghanistan, instead of flying over other nations who can't stand us. Okay, and anybody who don't know the reason why one of the reasons why this nation cannot stand us, I'm gonna tell you why right here, is because we supported and armed an insane war criminal, okay, serial killer war criminal named Saddam Hussein back in the early 80s. We armed this country to fight them, to kill their babies. We armed Saddam Hussein to rape their women, okay? We armed a war criminal serial killer to rape, kill, and pillage their babies and their women. So, well, you know, naturally, anybody with any kind of common sense, they're not going to be on very good terms with us. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, if you want to know why, another reason why Iran doesn't like America, well, that's a good enough reason for me. I don't think I'd be kind of pissed off at them too. I am kind of pissed off at them. Once you study up on the history of this, you find out the truth of this. Back in 1988. And then, you know, you guys have followed my channel, so you guys know some of the stuff that I told you about 1988, Halabja and stuff like that. Even though I've never put this out here, I'm going to put this new information out here on the reason why during the Iran-Iraq war, Saddam Hussein actually allowed Iran to take ground inside his country. Now, he did this because Saddam Hussein, like I said, he's a smart war criminal serial killer, okay? He knew that he could use chemical weapons, okay, and get away with it in the international community and be politically correct with it as long as he allowed Iran to take ground inside his country. Then, and of course, what better way to kill two birds with one stone? First of all, he hated the Kurds, he hated the Shias, so why not pull his Republican Guard back up there in the north and allow Iran only to take certain areas, only take ground in certain areas, which he did. And then Saddam naturally, to avoid international scrutiny of his using these weapons of mass destruction on babies, children, women and children, non-combatants, as well as killing the combatants, the Iranians, was in those areas to allow them to take grounds inside his country. Then he hit them full force with those chemicals, full force with those weapons of mass destruction. And then, hey man, if the international community was to say anything, Saddam was going to say, hey, I defended my country. I wasn't going to use, he wasn't going to use weapons of mass destruction unless they were inside his country. See, they ran into his country. If you notice, Saddam had a whole history of that. Okay? And I'm going to do another video for you as well. I'm going to show you guys facts. I got facts that Saddam Hussein used chemical weapons, and it's been verified in other countries, but not in America. Okay, Saddam Hussein used chemical weapons from 1991 to 1997. I'll have a video coming out for you in the future. I got 2 videos to come out. I had one that I'm waiting on because I'm waiting to find out what's going on. Okay, I told you guys I put that video out already on another number of more people who now are sick because of some chemicals. Okay, but I got another video that I'm gonna put out to you all too coming up to show you concrete evidence. Okay, these are facts. This is verified that Saddam Hussein was using sarin from 91 to 1997. But like I said, you won't see that here in the U.S. They will never admit that. They will never admit that Saddam was using sarin on the U.S. troops. But other countries touch their troops, and it's verified. But let me guess, Saddam just didn't want to put sarin on any U.S. troops that were there from 91 to 97. Oh no, of course not. No, of course not. Oh no, he made sure to specifically, he did. There was only certain countries that Saddam wanted to release the sarin on. It when U.S. was, oh no, he couldn't do that to the U.S. It's like, Jesus, man. I try to keep my language, I really try to keep my language clean on this channel. But man, I'm just... Alright, where was I before I got off? I feel better now. Okay. I told you about Saddam allowed Iranians to gain ground inside his country. That way he could use full-force chemical weapons. That was Saddam Hussein's the war criminal, the serial killer, the rapist. His sons were rapists, pieces of garbage, lowest scum ever. Worse than Hitler. Worse than Adolf Hitler. Okay. His whole thing with chemical weapons was for defense. He tried to say they were for defense use only. And that's the reason why he used them on the Iranians. And that's the reason why he allowed the Iranians to take ground in certain areas where certain people that he just didn't like the Kurds, the Shias, certain cultures, Saddam Hussein wanted to make extinct. So that's the whole deal with the Iran-Iraq war. Now, this is the reason why when Saddam hit those chemicals on those babies and children and, non-combatant civilians, the only country, that offered humanitarian aid to those babies and those women, those children, civilians, non-combatants, was Iran. Iran. So, I think you guys can get a little picture on why Iran might be just a tad bit pissed off at us, you know what I mean? Consider now we were arming this war criminal to fight Iran, and considering how our interest was that Iraq was to come out ahead, okay? Our interest for this war involved Iraq coming out ahead and winning this war, which they did in so many words. But yeah, so now you know one of the reasons why Iran can't stand us. We stood by and let babies and women and children die. Why they rendered humanitarian service to these babies, women, and children, whereas Iraq did not even. These were Iraq's own citizens. They refused to treat them in the hospitals. They had to take them over to Iran. So I think you all know what spawned Iran's nuclear capability program or nuclear program, weapons of mass destruction program. I think you have a good idea of why. I'm not saying it's fact, for sure, but there's a pretty good hunch maybe Iran wouldn't have been trying to even start up a nuclear weapons mass destruction program had we not been arming Saddam Hussein in the 80s, had they not seen what, the horrifying, damage that these programs could do. Well, hell, I mean, Iran's probably thinking, well, hell, man, we better go build us, we better get us a weapons of mass destruction program. Hell, the U.S. armed this war criminal. Hell, he was killing civilians, and then the U.S. turned around and invaded him. Which I totally 100% agree with. Saddam Hussein, the war criminal, serial killer, lowest piece of garbage ever, war criminal in the world, worse than Adolf Hitler. He needed to be taken out of power. And that's what we did, and that was amen, great thing. I'm all for that. But Iran saw us arming this guy. Okay, first of all, we put him into power back in the day. Then we turned around and armed him to fight and kill babies and civilians. Okay, and then Iran rendered humanitarian service to him. Then we turn around, Saddam tries to invade Kuwait, which, that already shows he's a war criminal. We kick him out. Then years later, we invade his country. So, hell, Iran's thinking, well, shit, we better arm ourselves with weapons of mass destruction. You never know when America might try to invade us. So, I think you all get to see, you get a little bit of point about what I'm talking about here, the reason why they eventually probably do have. And then plus you got Israel over there who's armed to the teeth and always has been armed to the teeth. And they're not very, Iran and Israel can't stand each other. So, there we go. Now we know at least one aspect of why Iran is building weapons to kill us.